This is Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'm Owen James, and this is all your latest Rangers news as we look at all that is going on around the greatest club in world football. Right, look, the whole Hagi situation is crazy. The debate continues. Will he stay? Will he go? Will he look back in anger? And we'll hope that he doesn't look back in anger when he leaves, if he leaves. There's a lot of Rangers fans that wish he would stand by me. There's also some Rangers fans that, with the whole memories of Hagi will live forever with him. And there's a lot of Rangers fans that always think, in terms of Hagi, don't go away. You know what? I'm going to stop. That's how many Oasis songs can you get into the start of a video? Anyway, look, this Hagi situation, right? We all know that his dad loves a bit of a rant. We know that his dad loves a comment. We know that in Romania, brand Hagi is massive. Okay, Hagi is the thing in Romania, isn't it? Like brand Beckham was here, a little while ago. Brand Hagi is huge, and we know that obviously Gheorghe likes to talk about his son's career. And look, I feel sorry for Giannis to some degree. When your dad is as immense a footballer and as successful a footballer as Gheorghe was. You kind of feel sorry for him. As good as Giannis is, he's obviously does have to live in his dad's shadow the same way, the likes of, Jordi Cruyff did with Johan Cruyff, for example. So it's a tricky situation. Now, before we talk about what Giannis's dad, Gheorghe, has been saying about the situation at Rangers, I just want to kind of try and qualify this a little bit, okay? Now, as a dad, yes, I haven't got any lads that play football. I've got two daughters. One of my daughters dances to a very high level, national champion, etc., etc. And I can understand where Gheorghe is coming from with this. If I perceived that someone wasn't treating my daughter in the right way, that, if she'd worked really hard for something and it was kind of taken away from her, or she wasn't being given a fair crack of the whip, I think I would react in an angry way, because as dads, we protect our kids. That's what we do, don't we? That's what a good dad does. A good dad protects and fights for his kids. So, I think that's all that Gheorghe is doing in this circumstance. Anyway, he says that basically the whole situation at Rangers is, in his words, an ugly story told by ugly people. So it's quite clear that he is not happy with the situation and not happy with the way that that his son has been treated by the club. These were the exact words. So we'll have a look at the quotes and then we'll talk a little bit about the quotes. And obviously, if you've got an opinion on it, please drop me a comment down below. He says, forget what Rangers say, it's what I say that counts. He's had a contract with Rangers first, and what has happened with him at Rangers is a story, an ugly story from the people responsible. It's ugly. This is a player who went there when he was young, was their best player, and then got injured. Right, there's a bit more to come, but let's just unpick that a little bit, okay? I mean, it's a bit cocky and arrogant at the start, forget what Rangers say, it's what I say that's important, I'm the one that counts. That's a little bit cocky, Gheorghe. But when you're a player as talented as him and as big a personality as him, that's probably the thing you're going to come out with. That's kind of very much that sort of, top ex-footballer mould. He's right. He has a contract with Rangers. He is under contract at the club. He is still under contract at the club. So at the end of the day, Rangers and Giannis need to both obviously honour the contract that is there. And Giannis is doing his part. He turns up for training. Yes, he's been made to train with the B team. But he's working hard, quite clearly, looking at his fitness. He's playing for the B team when he's been asked, unlike Todd Cantwell, so he's behaving in a much more professional manner. Now, there's the whole story around this $6,000 extra if Hagi plays another game, and people saying that's the reason that Rangers won't play him. Some people saying it's because it's not part of Clement's plans. Others saying that he's too slow for Clement, which is a load of rubbish because Tom Lawrence is as slow as sin as well. We have a lack of 10s at the club. Hagi is a 10. It doesn't really look good, does it? Gheorghe is quite clearly saying that he is not quite happy with what is being said about his son by the club, by Philippe Clement, by the football board, by some fans, by the media. I think that's where he's going with this. He's kind of spreading the blame across a fair few people in this and saying that his son, quite clearly, in his opinion, is not been treated fairly, is being misrepresented. I think the whole situation, that Clement, it says that he's got no future at the club, that he wants to leave. I think, it's kind of been disproved to some degree with Giannis actually saying that he wants to stay at Rangers. Giannis turned down a route to Rapid Bucharest. We know that. But this situation, is ugly in a way. I think the whole Yanis Hagi situation reflects exceptionally badly on Rangers. The way it's been dealt with, the way it's been handled, it is not great, to be honest with you. You know, this is a player who is under contract. This is a player whose wages we are paying, yet we are refusing to play him, refusing to use him. Yet he's not a player that has come out and caused any trouble. You know, I think if this was Todd Cantwell, it would be a whole different situation. Quite clearly, Todd has caused trouble. He's been a bit of a prat and, you know, has been unsettling. Whereas Yanis has not done that. He's come, he's trained, he's worked hard, he's played for the B team, he's been a team player. You know, he's been very professional. Whereas I think the club have not treated him in a fair manner, in my estimations. Yanis' dad went on to say this: he fought back, and what happened? He's training on his own or whoever he's training with. But when something like this happens in Western Europe, we are told, what claims do you have if you are from Romania? Excuse me, what would I know? I played at the highest level, even though I'm from Romania. At one point, I just said to them, shut up. He won't come here because he's proved he can be at Rangers. He was their best player. You know, I think in terms of this best player thing, I think, you know, he's talking about during the 55 season, he was a very good player during the 55 season. He is going to say he's the best player. The same way I'd say my daughter is the best dancer, because, you know, that's what you do as a dad. So I don't think we should heavily criticize him or laugh at him for that. But, you know, he's right in that Yanis has fought back from a horrible injury, and he's come back. He's worked hard. He's got himself fit again. He's got himself ready to play. You know, he's been made to train not on his own, but with the B team. You know, quite clearly saying, I think Hagi's saying here that it's because he's Romanian, which I think, you know, is a bit ridiculous, really. You know, I think he kind of insinuating that if he was French, German, Italian, Dutch, Spanish, this wouldn't be happening. But because he's Romania is perceived as not being one of the top nations, there's this discrimination against him, which I think is a little bit far-fetched. But, you know, the overall sort of story there is kind of right in a way. You know, Yanis Hagi, I think, has been treated very badly by the club. If I'm being honest, this is just a personal opinion. You may disagree, and that's fine if you do. I think that, you know, we are wasting his talent. I thought he was treated exceptionally badly last year when he came out and said he wanted to play, and Beale obviously then had a dicky fit and threw his furry dice out of his used car. And then, you know, we've got a situation now where he's come back to the club after a spell with Alaves, and he's obviously been told he's not needed anymore, not wanted by Clermont, yet Clermont hasn't actually probably, you know, looked at him in a Rangers team at all. I mean, I think if we'd used him in pre-season and he hadn't done the job in pre-season for the first team, then maybe that judgment could be made. But I think there's a lot more questions than answers to this situation. Now, obviously, he isn't going to Rapid Bucharest. He doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to return to his native Romania. Rumours were that Rangers accepted a ridiculously low bid for him. Don't know how true that is. But the whole Hagi situation is just utterly ridiculous in my estimations. And I think we do need to sit down. And I think, you know, if on the 31st of August, Yanis Hagi is still here, we need to sit down with Yanis and his representatives and come up with a way of moving forward, because you cannot have a player that is not causing trouble, that is behaving in a professional manner, that is turning up to train every day, that is playing B team games when asked and not refusing, you know, and doing everything that's asked of him, is treated in the way he's being treated. You know, I think this $6,000 thing, it may be true, it may not be true, it may be a lie. I don't know. It could be some sort of defense mechanism from the club. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say either way whether it's true or not. But what I'm going to say is, on the 31st of August, if Yanis Hagi is still at Rangers and is still a Rangers player, we need to sit down with Yanis and his representatives and come up with a way forward for the club where Hagi can be put back into the squad and used for the rest of the season, or at least until January, because you cannot sit a player in the stands on $21,000 a week doing nothing or only playing B team football. That is bad football business. That's bad business, and it's bad management. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, guys, if you've enjoyed the content, please smash a like. If you haven't, I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks for watching. On the way out, guys, if you can do me a favor, please remember always, we are the people.